Captain's Logs, Day 27 of the TSS Caelum flagship mission. Today was tiring. I am beginning to learn that with this crew, that's going to be a factor more often than not. The ship has suffered a malfunction of sorts. Corporate does not need to worry about the integrity of the design, however, because rather than a mistake in our mechanical processing, there was a mistake in our crew's processing. It seems that Communications Officer St. James became a bit bored during her duties and got, well, I suppose the only word for it is creative. Even managed to pull everyone else into it. Let's just start, shall we?
Well, that's not it.
Officer St. James, are you in there? St. James!
Now, Nye, you know that's not my name.
Yes, it is. Where are you?
I'll give you a hint if you say the magic word.
Please.
Wrong one. Come on, Nye, it's like you're not even trying. What could I possibly want you to say?
Officer St. James, you know how I feel about calling people by nicknames.
Yes, and that's exactly why I want you to call me by mine.
Why do you have to make this so difficult? Why can't you just tell me?
Oops.
Officer St. James, why in the name of God are you hanging off the ceiling right now?
Quiet down. Jesus, can't take apart anything around you guys.
What are you doing?
Well, I thought it was kind of clear.
Just answer me, Cassiopeia.
Wow, Nye, feels like my mom is right here. Great job. But fine. What I'm doing is taking apart a small section of the roof of the comms room to see exactly where the next receptor is. The speaker is right here, so it should be somewhere nearby.
Oh, of course, taking apart the ceiling. Pardon me if I'm wrong here, but isn't that, really dangerous?
Of course not. What would be dangerous is doing something like, synthesizing testosterone and using yourself as a test subject, or removing that load-bearing panel over there. But I've got this all under control. No need to worry. Man, they really don't make these tool belts with hanging upside down in mind, do they?
Get down from there.
Fine. In just a minute, can you pull that string right there for me, then? I dropped it earlier and I was just gonna fish it back up, but there's a way better chance of me breaking something if I do that than if I don't.
Your pain.
Yeah, but I'm your pain, so you kind of have to deal with me.
Sadly. Are you ready yet?
Yeah, but...
Damn it! Officer St. James, are you okay?
Well, that is one way to deal with me, Nye. And I think I might have had my chances wrong there, because damn, that hurt.
Thank God, I am never letting you up there again.
That is, you kinda have to.
Why?
Notice how I was trying to say something before your little murder attempt there? I wasn't done putting everything back together. And if I don't get back up there quick, something's gonna fall or... Oh, come on!
I think it's broken.
I think I'm broken. It isn't unique.
It looks kind of important.
Jeez, now, way to make a girl feel special. Oh, that is not good.
Yeah.
It's not even, fixable either. We'd have to get a whole new gear.
How bad do we need it?
I have no clue, and I am not sure we want to leave it alone long enough to find out. And that's just if more stuff doesn't fall.
Then how can we get another one?
You know what this sounds like, now that you mention it? Something I could make into Mavis's problem.
Officer St. James, wait up. Do you even know where Mavis is?
It won't take too long to find her. She's almost always in the engine room, and if for some reason she isn't, we'll just check the other rooms.
Can't we just call her over the comms?
Nope. I've already started running, so as Freddie Mercury says, don't stop me now. Mavis, hello.
Cass? What are you doing over here? Aren't you supposed to be taking apart the ceiling or something?
Oh, thank God. I didn't think I could run much more.
Oh, did I say taking apart the ceiling? I meant testing out the wheel and whatever that is.
It's fine, Maeve, he knows.
Engineer Sampson, you knew about this?
Yeah, it was kind of hard not to when he would wrench apart the walls every time I left her alone in our dorm. I mean, I was tired during training, yeah, but not that tired. How do you know about it?
That's why we're here. Nye gave me a pretty nasty tumble down from my little perch, before I could even finish putting it all back together, too.
I apologized.
Turns out this one came down with me. And no, Nye, you didn't, actually.
Hey. What do you mean I didn't?
Any clue what it is?
It looks kind of familiar. Let me run it through the data thing real quick.
Oh, of course, the data thingy.
Shut up.
And it means exactly what you think it means, Nye. You didn't apologize.
Sorry, then.
It's good. Next time you drop me from a height, though, I will be extorting you for it.
Okay.
Wow, Cass. You really picked a good one.
How bad is it?
Well, the ship won't fall apart without it, but it will not be very good. This isn't even one of the gears they gave me a replacement for, either.
I thought they gave us at least 2 replacement parts for every ship?
With how often you blow stuff up, yeah, I'd sure hope so. Guess we're just doomed on this one, though.
Not necessarily. Or I mean, kind of, but not necessarily.
What's that supposed to mean?
I said that I didn't have the gear. That doesn't mean that we don't have a replacement somewhere. It just means I don't have it. You really chose a lucky one to go down with, Cass. This kind of gear is so special that only the captain has the replacements.
That's it. We're done for.
Well, as Mavis said, not necessarily.
If I don't ask, does that mean I don't have to get pulled into this?
To quote Albert Einstein, trying that for the whateverth time and expecting it to actually work would mean you're insane.
That's not the quote.
I paraphrased.
And I'm not insane. At least, not yet.
Everything in due time. Anyways.
Actually, Cass, before you start spieling, I'm gonna probably sit this one out.
Aw, how come?
I've got some repairs to do around the ship because y'all keep doing things like this. And the, plausible deniability is a very nice touch, too.
Yeah, makes sense. Any chance you could get us that gear while you're at it?
I'd love to, but to get parts like that, you have to fill out forms, which would require me to first of all lie, which I don't really mind, but second of all, I'd have to do paperwork, and that goes against everything I believe in. So no thank you.
Fair enough, I guess. Have fun with your repair stuff, Maeve.
Why does she get to opt out of these?
Because she's my favorite. And because she has actual work to do. You and I, though, we got nothing.
So, what's the master plan, then?
Well, considering the fact that the captain isn't a big fan of labeling things, I don't think it'll be very hard to find what we're looking for once we get in the room. The biggest issue is getting in while the captain is out. So, what's your skill set here?
Define a skill set?
Anything that can help. For example, I'm forklift certified.
How is that supposed to help us right now?
I'm just putting everything out on the table. Plus, who knows? There could be a perfectly good forklift around here, just waiting to be used.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that.
Fair.
Anyways, I know a lot of chemistry, I'm okay at lying, I have good reflexes, I can solve some of those combination locks,
You can solve combination locks?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy, you just listen to the clicks and all that.
Huh. Never pegged you for the type.
Well, what's your skill set, then?
Oh yeah, I can pick locks, traditional ones, too, so, I have pretty fast reflexes. I already mentioned the forklift thing. I know how to juggle.
Juggle?
Well, yeah, after Mavis got that insane clown posse stuff and started calling herself a juggalo, I figured that meant that she knew how to juggle. And I didn't want to be left behind in terms of circus skills, so I learned how. Turns out I'm actually ahead of her now.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'll take that. Anyway, the captain usually goes for lunch break sometime around now, actually. Lucky us. If we can get into the room soon, we might even have a decent chance of getting back here before the captain finishes eating.
Alright then, ready to get started?
Of course. Let's get cracking. And and wear it.
You really overplayed how good you are at that.
Yeah, whatever. I figured it out in the end. We should probably hurry now. Found it.
Good. I'm getting more and more anxious the longer we stay here.
It's fine. Plus, now that I have some practice in me, I can do it easy as pie.
There we go. Now let's get out of here before...
Are you kidding me?
Oh, God.
Say you weren't here for looking for the captain and here for some science stuff and the door was already open.
What about you?
I'll be just fine.
But what are we going to do after the... Captain!
Dr. DeSilva, what are you doing in my office?
Just looking for you. The door was open, so I figured you must be inside.
Oh, right then. What do you need?
Well...
And why is the spare parts drawer open? Dr. DeSilva, are you going through my things?
No, I swear.
Then what exactly is going on here?
Well...
Both of you have a lot of explaining to do.
Damn it.
I am going to ask you a series of questions. I expect you all to answer me in a professional manner, if you can manage even that. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Then let's begin. Officer St. James, from what I understand, this all began when you decided to go looking through the roof of the craft via suspending yourself upside down from the ceiling.
Yes, sir.
Then, upon Dr. DeSilva's accidental pulling you down, injuring you in the process, you two decided to go to Engineer Sampson for help replacing the gear you broke.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Engineer Sampson, you then told these two, in essence, where the replacements were, knowing full well they would try to go and retrieve them.
Yes, sir.
Officer St. James and Dr. DeSilva, you two then proceeded to lock-pick your way into my office in pursuit of this gear. Officer St. James taking the liberty to scale up to the ceiling to avoid being caught upon my arrival.
Yes, sir.
And it never once occurred to any of you that perhaps if you had simply asked me for the part, I might have given it to you.
No, sir.
This is what most disappoints me about this. None of you took the time to consider that I might help. Officer St. James, you were injured for the majority of this day, and you did not seek any medical attention at all for it, presumably out of fear that I might ask why you were hurt.
That's not...
You three are my crew. I care for your well-being, and while I may not have been elated to hear that you had broken something, I would have at the very least assisted you in fixing it and allowed you to get the help you needed. However, today, instead of taking the logical route, all three of you performed a near mutiny and made it very clear that none of you trust me in the slightest. Though I cannot change that, I can hope that next time you do something so inadvisable, you will grace me with the consideration to tell your commanding officer about it. Dr. DeSilva, treat Officer St. James's wounds. Then both of you return to your quarters. Engineer Sampson, you will be fixing the ceiling of the comms room under my supervision. Dismissed. That is the best summarization of today's events I could scrape together. Following these events, Engineer Sampson puts everything back in order in the communications wing. There is no damage to the ship remaining. However, I find it concerning the fact that none of the crew came to me. I'm not nearly delusional enough to believe that I would gain their complete trust in the little less than a month we've been on this ship. But you'd think that at least one of them would ask me, even think to ask me, if not out of belief in my abilities, then at the very least belief in my authority. I understand these logs are meant to stay objective on current events, but never mind. I should be unbiased. Apologies to whoever is listening back at corporate, if anyone is listening at all. This is the captain of the TSS Caelum, signing off.
The Cogwork Logs is a science fiction podcast primarily written and directed by Kaya Brown. Today, you heard the voices of Keely Dodson-Gladis as the captain, Laura Julich as Mavis Sampson, Quigley as Nye DeSilva, and Kaya Brown as Cassiopeia St. James. This episode is edited by Keely Dodson-Gladis. A special thanks to Michael Gurwey for the theme song, and a thanks to you for listening.